Hi, we discussed about Hindu phobia in Bollywood and the influence of communism in Bollywood. What about Hindu movies are just in name? I mean, we are under heavy influence of Urdu words. What do you feel about it? What do you have to say about it?
Well, it's the reality. The fact remains that most of the lyricists and the script writers are mostly Muslim, and it goes back right from the 1940s. Let's say, for example, Naushad Ali, a very famous music composer, he was an Urdu poet, or even people like Shailendra. Of course, he was a Hindu, but still, if you look at his training, it was all done in the Urdu mold. For example, he penned those famous songs like Awara Hu or Ye Mera Divanapan Hai. These are all Urdu lyrics. So, and also many of the lyricists were also people who composed ghazals. So what's happened is that the domination of Muslim lyricists, script writers in Hindi movies, even after 1947, has continued. It hasn't gone. That's the reason why Hindi movies, I would say, are only Hindi in name. They are more Urdu movies. If you look at it, even right now, the mass media, people in this country, if you look at news channels, if you look at social media, whatever, people have really replaced Hindi words with Urdu. I remember that in the 1980s, till the 1980s or even 1990s, people used the word pratishat, percentage. For percentage, the word used was pratishat. But nowadays, you look at any news channel, they use the word feesadi, which I had never heard in my entire life. Or they use words like jung, sarkar, etc. Even our own BJP, they use words like sarkar, namumkin, mushkil. So these are all Urdu words, they're not Hindi words. So I guess that even if you look at right from the Hindi movies, like I remember from the 1970s, two very famous songs, late 60s, early 70s. You have this Meshayar to nahi, or for example, Gulabi Aankhe Jo Teri Dekhi. So if you look at these, if you hear these two songs, of course they are very melodious. Even I like them very much. But if you hear those songs, there is so much of Urdu over there. Most of them, people won't even understand what they mean. They are so chaste Urdu or so tough Urdu words that nobody has any idea what those words actually meant. But yet they were actually that's how they penetrated these kind of words in the Hindi movie industry.
That was then. Even now, we will see that there are so many, especially romantic songs, which are heavily influenced by our Urdu language.
Achha,
I guess the
really?
precedent was set then, and now every second, at least if I'm not being exaggerating, it's almost every love songs at least is followed by important Urdu lyrics.
You mean really tough Urdu words, not
Yeah,
just simply like
and
yaar and mohabbat and so on,
no,
but
no,
really
just
tough Urdu words.
like songs like Mere Rush Ke Cover. I am pretty sure that 90% of Indian population still doesn't understand what does that particular phrase mean. Mere Rush
And
Ke
it's
Cover.
not a ghazal, it's a proper mainstream Hindi song.
Yeah, it's a mainstream Hindi songs in more than one Bollywood movie actually.
Couple of more songs like Kun Faya Kun, Khwaja Mere Khwaja. We don't understand what they're saying.
What is
but
kun?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, precisely.
But Nirmalji, people say that Urdu is relatively more poetic and Bollywood has almost romanticized Urdu in a way, right? On the other hand, speaking Sanskrit, Latin, Hindi is not considered cool enough by Bollywood and its followers. So, in a way, I think to be successful in the entertainment industry, it kind of becomes important to speak Urdu. So, what do you think about that?
I don't agree with it at all. I mean, people who say that, Sanskrit laden Hindi is not poetic or cannot be successful, I don't know what they're speaking about. It's all a myth. It's absolutely mythical because look at I can tell you of many songs from 1970s, for example. You have this famous movie Abhiman starring Amitabh Bachchan, which had this song Meet Na Mila Re Man Ka, which is almost in pure Hindi. Then you have another movie from 1970s also, Meri Bigi Bigi Si, or Koi Jab Tumhara Hriday Tod De, Mere Naina Sawan Bado. They were all super hit Hindi songs, and all of them used Hindi, pure, almost close to pure Hindi. So I don't know what people are talking about. It's just like people is giving excuses to cover up the fact that so much Urdu is being used.
And even the prominent ghazal singer, Jagjit Singh, his famous ghazal, Hothon Se Chho Lo Tum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's a very good example, and that's considering the fact that ghazals are mostly sung in Urdu language. And considering that Ghazal maestro Jagjit Singh, he sang this song from the movie Prem Geet in, like, it was completely in Hindi, and it was still a very successful song. If you look at any Antakshari, any of the program, you will always find this song over there.
The might and melody of Hindi songs is obviously understood and known by everybody. There, even now, we have examples of movies such as Shivai, where we have
Which movie is that?
Shivai, Ajay Devgan's recent movie, where there's a song on Lord Shiva. It's absolutely brilliant. And talking about, even from songs, we can go on to movies, and the whole movie Bahubali, this was a blockbuster, and it was in complete pure
Really?
Hindi. Yeah, and it
Wow.
every Indian loves that movie, and even people abroad are like following it. Also,
The movie was in Hindi. It was a very successful picture. It was
yeah,
a super hit.
yeah, precisely.
Wow, that's